Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. I do appreciate it, all the things that you do, the comments, and I enjoy responding to you and talking to you guys on my other pages, Divine Oneness, Divine Girl Talk. So do continue that. I am thankful. This is the bi-weekly reading for the sign of Pisces. It will cover a period of today, the 6th, through Sunday, the 17th. Sorry, I'm a little late with yours, but I am here and it's super interesting. I think you're the only sign for which I've read that your focus is love and relationship. And in some cases, it's getting over a love and relationship. And I don't know if you've just recently broken up or parted ways with somebody or lost someone or something that was important to you. But your last reading, I called it okay, bye, because it was just a sense of parting ways with people, places, and things then, but like a real confidence and a real empowerment about it. But now we have the Three of Swords showing up, and it is showing up in the position that is surrounding you. So it doesn't even have to be your energy. This can be friends, family members, co-workers, other people around you who are feeling some sort of loss or pain, heartache, although you may be experiencing some of it too, and sometimes by way of another person, like because somebody you care about is hurt, therefore you are hurt. But in some cases, I do think this has to do with your love life. The other person, this could represent them because maybe they were who inflicted the pain. But now here we have the moon in reverse in your position of love and relationship. And the moon represents your sign in the tarot. Major Arcana card, the moon, and represents the sign of Pisces. So I feel like you're the one that's turned upside down. And maybe that's because it's the other person that inflicted pain. In any case, what's really awesome here, though, at the same time, is that a lot of you, for some of you, this is old, right? You didn't just experience this, loss or breakup or, heartache or pain, hurt, whatever it is you're going through. You didn't just experience it. This is something that you are holding on to, cords of attachment that need to be cut. So we'll talk about what the Heaven on Earth card means and how perhaps you can use meditation or something to heal it and to cut those cords so that you're able to into the next phase of your life and walk through the gateway, right? You need to find balance, healing, restoration. This card feels very much like temperance to me, although it looks like something having to do with air and water. And honestly, even though the Three of Swords is not a court card, I do feel that a lot of you are dealing with air signs. So I think this card is sort of like true to the reading. It's Pisces involved with an air sign in a lot of cases. And, it's upside down, so normally I wouldn't mention it. But this is the only time I've seen Sacred Union this whole time, all 12 zodiac signs since I've been reading them. Since I've been reading them this go around. This is the first time I'm seeing the Sacred Union card. So I think for some of you who are having this experience, it is somebody with whom you are connected, perhaps at the soul level, in maybe some sort of sacred union, divine union, twin flame relationship. And that's why you feel the way you do. That's why it just feels different than other relationships where you've parted ways in the past. I also want to say about this Three of Swords. As I was shuffling your cards, I saw a lot of air energy, and I said, I think a lot of them are dealing with air signs. And I saw like the Knight of Swords, King of Swords. So maybe in more cases than not, it's an air sign, male or masculine. Maybe it's more so for the feminine or female Pisces who are dealing with air sign males. Gemini, Libra, Aquarian. Some of you may also be Cuspian, so it could be both the energy of the air and the water may be your own. And that balance may be your own inner balance into which you need to come. Your inner masculine and feminine together, working together harmoniously, the yin and yang coming together within. So that may be what's going on for some people. It could be more of a spiritual pain and struggle through which you're going rather than something having to do with other people. But Gemini is the only other sign that had the Three of Swords this go around this group of readings, and it was in the exact same position. Now, what I said to Gemini, of which I myself am a Gemini, what I said to us was that I felt that it was more so our friends, family members, co-workers perhaps, who were suffering this pain, and maybe we were impacted because somebody we were close to was hurt. But I didn't feel that it was our hurt directly. And for a lot of you, that's going to be the case still here, because although you have the heaven on earth, so some of you definitely have some cords to cut, and negative emotions to release. You have the Fool here. The Fool is in reverse, but the Fool in reverse, sort of like the Fool upright, is still about a new adventure, a new beginning. It's a path like you never walked before, a brand new path that you're going to be walking, often a spiritual path. That's why I said some of this may be spiritual pains that when you're going through that dark night of the soul or Kundalini rising, that can be very painful. And you feel very alone a lot of nights, and you can't sleep, and you don't know, you have nobody to call or talk to about it, and so it feels like a suffering until you come out the other end. That may be through what some of you are going, having nothing to do in the direct sense with anybody else, and just everything to do with you and you becoming who you are meant to be. So a lot of Pisceans are going to be experiencing that over the next 2 weeks, I'd say, with this Fool in reverse that's showing up here in the position most directly representing you and I guess your focal point, so to speak, over the next 2 weeks. In relation to work, and I'm mentioning that because it's sitting here, the Fool is sitting here right atop your position of work and finance, where you have like one of the best cards you possibly could in that position. It's the King of Pentacles upright. But the Fool in reverse in relation to work says you've probably been having a lot of really awesome ideas and things that you could offer at the job, or if you work for yourself, your own company, things that you could implement that could help you to grow and to prosper. But you've been like hesitant to put them into effect. And you need more faith in yourself, is what the Fool is saying in relation to this. Your ideas could pay off more than you think. Maybe you're saying, oh, that's a silly idea, and you're shaking it off. Right now, you guys, your planet is still in retrograde, your ruler in your sign. So you may be dreamier than ever. Don't, just toss them all away as idle thoughts. Some of them could be like your ticket, as they say. And I do see that a lot of you are thinking or considering going off on your own and starting your own business. If you haven't thought about that already, perhaps I'm planting the seed for some, because I see that you will be thinking about that over the next 2 weeks. And the King of Pentacles in your position of work and finance, again, definitely supports that. The Fool in relation to the finances says that it's time to, I don't want you to be paranoid about your money, but you also want to be watchful too. Opportunities, again, could pay off for you greatly, but, make sure that you are very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, what is the word? I keep getting it and losing it. Like diligent, that's not the word I was trying to think of. But how they say do your due diligence, cross your I's and dot your T's, and cross your I's and dot your T's. Other way around. Cross your T's and dot your I's. There was a word I was looking for, and it just threw me off once I couldn't get it. But yeah, that's what I mean. Check on the dotted line, especially because I just mentioned your planet, Neptune, is in retrograde in your sign, but Mercury is also in retrograde. So, it's actually a cautionary tale to avoid contracts and stuff in general during Mercury retrograde. But if you have to move forward with something, again, just make sure that you check the details, read the small print, all that kind of stuff. And again, it may be a good time for you to, take a chance, take these opportunities and these ideas and get them working for you. It's like special opportunities, something different, not the norm, not the usual. These are special ideas and stuff that you're coming up with. Now, I do, because the Three of Swords is right there next to your Fool, it's crossing the working finance. I do want to say what that could mean. And it can mean something about your feelings being hurt, or your ego being bruised, or something that's going on in relation to work. And it may have something to do, again, with somebody else's energy, a co-worker, because you also have the Three of Cups as your overall energy. And for work, the Three of Cups in reverse can mean that somebody's like jealous, maybe upset about your success. You got this King of Pentacles in upright in the position of work and finance. Maybe you're up for a raise, promotion, some sort of recognition. Again, you're starting your own business, you're flourishing, and all these kinds of things. And somebody that maybe should be isn't necessarily happy for you. If there is some sort of conflict or something, and this King of Pentacles is an actual person, he doesn't have to be a direct earth sign, but he may very well additionally be a direct earth sign, a Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. But whether he is or not, he's a fair person that can, but also, maybe fair is not the right word, because sometimes he can also be judgmental. You say, well, that's not fair. Quick to judge, to rush to judgment. Maybe because he's that way in the past, he's not necessarily been, your cheerleader, your supporter. But in this position and upright like this, if this is a real person at your job, and maybe an actual male, older even, perhaps light-haired, all of these may apply, you may be surprised that right now he's like coming to your rescue. Especially, again, if there's something going on, there could be something with envy, jealousy. That's coming from the Three of Swords upright and the Three of Cups in reverse as your overall energy as it relates to work. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, goodness. Hopefully that'll come back to me, but I might as well go on to the moon, since it's here, sitting here next to the King of Pentacles. The moon with relation to work can mean that you sort of think you know what's going on, and you have a clear understanding of something that's happening at the job, and the truth is that you probably don't. You probably don't know what you're talking about. So even if something does come up, again, let this more well-established person, if they have an opportunity to speak for you and quash whatever is going on that's wrong, let them help you. They're going to be a supporter. They're going to be a cheerleader, and they're in a better position to put themselves out there than you. If you can avoid, sort of coming out and trying to confront somebody, or an issue or anything over the next 2 weeks, if you can get away with avoiding doing that, unless you're absolutely certain of what the situation is, then please avoid, because the chances are that you're not clear with the moon in reverse. And the moon in reverse, again, is definitely your energy as a Pisces, as it relates to the tarot. That's what it represents. It's all about Pisces. Try to be remain patient and calm, if particularly if you feel like you're under attack at the job, because with the moon in reverse, you're going to end up something's going to be said wrong or something, or there's a great potential of it, and then you'll be the one that ends up looking crazy. So again, just, I'm not telling you to be a punk at your office or let anybody push you around or anything or mistreat you. Definitely don't do that. But I'm just saying, if there is a way to not confront somebody or something at the office or wherever you work, especially if it's like your own company or something, and you're dealing with vendors or investors or whatever, even clients, unless you're sure about what it is that's off and not right, don't confront anybody at all. And you got another card here that talks about patience. So definitely you're going to want to be patient. And guess what's underneath it? I'll show you in a second. Patience, slow down, change your attitude, and clear your mind. So yeah, be patient, be calm, and try to let things blow over. Try to let this guy fix the situation, or try to, just let it die out if you don't feed it any energy. But underneath it is another card that's upside down. that represents water energy. So this could be about you too. Is the Chariot. Charge ahead with confidence. Stay strong and focused. But it's like, more of your energy turned upside down. So, I mean, most directly, the Chariot represents the sign of Cancer. Maybe there's a Cancer that's also significant in your life or in this situation. I just felt when I saw it upside down, and I knew that it was connected to water. I just felt that it was like, more of this, like corroborating this. So I just wanted you to be conscious of what your energy may be like. On a more positive note, going back to this Three of Cups in reverse, you may be reunited with someone or something from which you've been apart for a long time, and that could be another reason for the Three of Swords too. Pain. You haven't seen each other again. Maybe the last, you haven't seen each other again. Haven't seen each other in a long time, or you haven't done this thing in a long time, or been in this place in a long time. And the last time you did, maybe things didn't go so well, and so you're having an opportunity. There's usually when these cards come up like this together, in the way that I read them and feel them, there's usually at least one pleasant reunion, one happy reunion that is going to come up with something or someone that you've been distant from, separated from for some time. And there may be other friends and family that are encouraging it or supporting it. So if you have an opportunity to spend time with people, that you're close to, that friends, family, or going to events or something, that may be where this reunion is made to happen, or how it comes about. So yeah, definitely if you get invited to anything, be social. That's what the Three of Cups is all about too. And I don't know, obviously if there's pain, if there's been hurt, if there's been mistreatment, there may be some apologies that are necessary, and forgiveness that's necessary, and some love that has to be exchanged. But again, it's a happy reunion where it's a celebratory situation. We're not bumping into people and still harboring the pain and the hurt or the ill feelings, which is probably why this card is here. Again, heaven on earth. And this is another one of the reasons why I had said I feel like there's probably an air sign, after I had seen all those other air cards while I was shuffling the Rider-Waite deck. And then I saw this. It just speaks of air and fire to me. I was like, okay, somebody's probably an air sign. Again, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, with which you are dealing. Or again, maybe it's your energy. Maybe you have it in your own chart, or you're a Cuspian or something. It's just heavy air in your reading. More importantly, though, the Heaven on Earth card is about the fact that we can have heaven on earth. We don't have to wait until we're, no longer on this plane, and to see, like, do we actually go to heaven or what happens next. We can have heaven here, and we're meant to. How do we do it? We have to release hell. Hell is taking up the space where heaven belongs. And so how do we release hell? Well, it's cutting cords of negative attachment. So even if we're no longer with somebody, no longer in a relationship with somebody, we claim to no longer care and all that, sometimes there can be energetic cords, what are called energetic cords, or ethereal cords, like at the soul level, that keep us together. And it's because, it can be because of many things, actually. I have videos, actually, where I talk about, karmic connections and curses and different things. So yeah, it could be a whole bunch of different things, but there are ways to get rid of some of these things without any assistance from anybody else, especially depending upon, the level at which we're affected. Sometimes we can just do some meditation. This can be guided meditation. It could be, doesn't have to be like this, and you don't have to be necessarily sitting what they call Indian style, right? Or in a prayer pose or something. I mean, you can, if you're into that, sure, do this, but you don't have to. It's just about finding a place of peace and quiet, with yourself. So some people like to go jogging and they listen to, their favorite genre of music while they run in the rain or something, like some people are into stuff like that. Or, sitting in the park, or dog walking, people watching, listening to birds. And that's how you find like a place of stillness and quiet that can enable you to focus on releasing anything that's holding you back, any kind of cord that is pulling you. Then you can focus imagine a big scissors, cutting it, and you may be setting it ablaze after, never to be tied again. And we can release those things. And again, that will allow us to go on to the next phase, like the Fool wants us to do, right? We need to be able to go through the gateway. It's a transition to the next phase. And again, this card, balance, can be about you coming into balance within yourself, your inner masculine and feminine coming into balance. Or this may be something having to do with relationships, and maybe romantic relationships or male and female relationships. And how do we come into healing, like divine or archetypal, right? This could be representing of the divine masculine, not necessarily a male, or the divine feminine, not necessarily a female. And how do we heal those relationships? How do we get whole again? That's what the energy of temperance helps us with. And again, this card looks like it's about air and water also. It just feels like temperance to me. And in the tarot, temperance represents the sign of Sagittarius. So maybe there is some fire also significant for some of you too, particularly Sagittarius. Or Sagittarian energy, when I pick it up, is sometimes just representative of Jupiter. Jupiter, the planet and god of growth and expansion and karma and luck, steps in to reward us, to help us move along, move forward, and to grow. So, what else can this be representing? Also, negative emotions. Negative emotions are things like the inability to forgive, regret, resentment, guilt, blame, pride, fear, ego. Those are the things we have to release. That's the health that's taking up the space. We clear all that out. And sometimes it's an actual relationship or something that's in the way, a physical relationship. It's not just emotions. We clear that out. We let go of things that aren't serving us anymore. And then we're able to fill up that space with heaven, or the universe does it for us. It sends something wonderful in to fill the space once we vacate it. So we do our part, and then the universe helps us to finish it off. From the fortune teller cards, again, your card is patience. Slow down, change your attitude, and clear your mind. So this reminds you that it's all about perspective. So you're in control. Further to that, for the masculine, those who resonate as a masculine archetype that are watching this, tantric union, maybe communication telepathically, could be physical too, maybe even in this way. But this is like about a deeper connection, a deeper level of communication, even if you're not, again, on the same even plane together. And it's completely telepathic. It is so much deeper than even sometimes actual, intimacy, sexual intimacy. You may be getting message or attempting to send some out. Or there could be a lot of signs and synchronicities about for you masculine. So make sure that you're paying attention and open to receiving, but also in your dreams specifically, you may be seeing somebody that's significant to you and receiving messages there. So make sure that you remember your dreams, write them down if you need to when you get up. Feminine for you, it's more air and water. Wow. Yeah, some of you are definitely, a lot of you I think, definitely dealing with an air sign. Maybe specifically in Aquarius, we have this star, very strategically placed over her third eye chakra. So this is the star in the tarot represents the side of Aquarius, and it's all about communication, as well as our prayers being answered, our dreams coming true, our wishes being granted. But this card is also like water to me, It's very like star meets high priestess, and it guides us to pay close attention to our intuition. And again, maybe some messages like what I just talked about with the masculine, signs, synchronicities, things coming in even in a dream state that you need to pay attention to. From the fortune reading cards, it is more moon, more of your energy. Pay attention to your intuition. Yes, they want to make sure that you get it. Pay attention to your intuition at this time and move ahead confidently. And lastly, wow, how funny is this? A chariot before, like in this deck that I got stuck on, and now your advice card for the feminine is plane. It's kind of like the chariot too. So maybe representative of the sign of Cancer again, although it could be about air, right? Planes fly in the air. Regardless of whatever zodiac sign it may be or element it may be representing for you, this is about positive movement forward. A journey is indicated, either physically or metaphorically. Your life will become more full. So, Pisces, things are about to get a lot better, and expect to be, again, reunited with someone or something that means something to you that you haven't experienced in quite some time. I hope that you guys have enjoyed your reading. I will be back with another one for you on the 18th. In the meantime, I also will be back over the weekend with my weekly love reading, my weekly general reading, especially if you identify as a part of a sacred union, a divine union, a twin flame relationship, or you identify as a divine being, even if you are single on a spiritual path. You're going to want to check out those, particularly the general reading, because I go over stuff in the beginning that is pertinent from history and other theology, other belief systems from all around the world that is impactful in a given week upon people who consider themselves to be on a spiritual journey or divine beings. Also, if you like a private reading from me or energy healing or merchandise from my Society 6 page or my Teespring page, all that information will be in the description box for you to reach me, as will my social media, so you guys can hook up with me and be my friend and talk to me on Facebook and IG and stuff. And I guess that's it. I thank you again so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all of it. If you are not yet a subscriber, please do consider hitting both the subscription button and the bell button so that you will be notified every time I put up a new video. Namaste.